let's dive right into that. This particular timeline gets a little crowded, so I'm going to develop it as step by step, but it does reflect the current European Commission draft that came out in Friday of last week. Moved the number or one of the modules quite a ways in the future, and that has a significant impact because the legal standing is that all 6 modules need to be functional before they can use them officially. Okay, so we have the time running from 2020 down out now out to 2030. I keep extending this timeline to accommodate all the activity. And then we have the 2 date of applications already occurred. So on top of that, there are 3 modules currently up and running, all with voluntary submissions. I looked a couple weeks ago, and there's like over 200,000 devices reported in the UDI module. So that's and that's the production module. So that's up and running, and you can submit voluntarily to these modules. In addition to those 3, 2 of them, the market surveillance and the vigilant module, are the next 2 that are expected to come on board and allow voluntary submissions. Market surveillance perhaps at the end of this year, and then middle of next year for vigilance, and that completes a nice set of 5. The Commission plans to do an audit on those 5, and that would allow them to be, robust, that has a little bit of validation connected to them. I believe they'll continue to run in voluntary mode. Meanwhile, the last module, this clinical investigation performance studies, has a lot of development effort, and you see the single line which reflects the development activity. So they're going to focus a huge amount of resources on putting this last module together. But look, that goes way out to the 3rd quarter of 2026 before that would become voluntary. Now, once all those 6 modules are available, the plan is to do an audit across all 6 modules. It's very short, 3 modules. Remember, the 5 have already been checked out. So it's probably just a matter of a quick check to make sure nothing has been broken. And then the last module, the clinical investigation, would be included. Following that audit, assuming it's all successful, we get the very important milestone. The European Commission puts this notice out that EUDAMED is fully functional. There's a 6-month delay. Let the dust settle, industry react, and then boom, at the end of that 6-month period, all these modules go mandatory. I will mention that the 2 modules, the UDI and the certificate modules, have like an 18-month transition plan built into the startup of those. So they become officially mandatory, but there's a period of time for you to make the submissions. In some cases, if you have to report a vigilance, you'll need to report right away. Now, this is the new draft timeline that the Commission has put out. We'll wait and see if this becomes official, like final, or if there's any changes in the draft. So, again, this is one of the things you have to just keep monitoring. This rollout of EUDAMED affects a number of activities, number of reports that you have to do, the device registration, your economic operator registration, and so on. Now, you can certainly get that early and get your SRN and so on. Highly recommend that. But this has nothing to do with placing products on the market. The Commission has an independent schedule for that particular timing. So let's do a quick review of that. If we were to start with medical devices, we have the medical device date of application, directive medical devices up to that point in time. And then if they're still placed on the market, there's legacy. I need to talk about 2 milestones. One is this red triangle, where on May 26th of next year, 2024, May 26th, don't miss this date. By that date, you'll need to have your QMS installed. You have to have a basic UDI, DI assigned throughout your portfolio, and you must make a request to have a notified body evaluate your products. If you miss that date, then you can no longer qualify for placing your legacy devices on the market. So that's a very serious event. So there's a lot of activity between now and then to have that all happen. And then in September of next year, that actual agreement needs to be signed with the notified body to have them review it. Now, they may not start it right away, but the contract has to be in place. And that allows you then to continue to place your legacy devices all the way out the end of 2027 and 2028 for various classes. If you have class ones, they need to be self-certified back in 2021. So that hopefully you didn't miss that particular event, but then you are able to bring devices out on the market under the MDR. In some cases, class 2s and 3s, you'll need a notified body involvement. It's a very similar conversation for IVDs, but the timing is a little bit different. So the date of application is a year later, 2022, that have similar type of game plan for the directive IVDs and legacy IVDs. There was an amendment that gives a special accommodation for those products that did not have a certificate under the directive, but now they do under the IVDR. So they get an extra period of time before they need to comply. So that runs all the way out to 2027 for the least risky Class A sterile IVDs. And then even now you can work with a notified body and roll out your IVDs, and the self-certified had to be in place back in 2022. I know this is a lot of information. We'll let it settle. The last chart, I'll just real quickly mention that you'll need to have a game plan, because your legacy devices, and the example is medical devices, but for both IVDs and medical devices, there's a deadline out here. You know, you're going to hit an end of life. So at some point, you'll need to convert that to a medical device, regulatory compliant device, either an equivalent or a substitute. And depending on when you can schedule that activity and when you're prepared, the timing could slide, but you don't want to ever be in a position where you're not able to put a product out on the market. Meaning, you know, you've reached the end of the time period for your legacy product and you have not yet received a certificate for your MDR compliance. So certainly want to avoid that.